Hello everybody. For this webinar we're going to be applying to the University of Sydney. I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process you need to do in order to apply. It's a pretty straightforward process but can have some confusing points, so I'm going to start all the way at the beginning. When you apply for the University of Sydney, it's important that you know what score you need in order to get in. So the first thing you do is go to Google and you put in University of Sydney, undergraduate, entry requirements, international. And what's going to come up is this PDF that they have, the 2019 entry guide requirements. Now the new 2020 hasn't come out yet, but this is pretty close. So you use the 2019 as a guide only. You see here they have qualifications for lots of things in the world. Most importantly for us, USA ACT, USA SAT, and the IB. So we have that there. You look down here at what major you want to apply for, keeping in mind that you just have to get the score in the end in order to get in, or already have the score in the case of the SAT. So for this example, I'm going to use a Bachelor of Arts. Many of you may apply for the Bachelor of Arts, so I'm going to go to Bachelor of Arts. Here it is. And always paying attention to these little figures here. I look down here and I say, oh, it's a liberal studies degree. Great, that's what I want to do. You look at the years, the duration, that's important. Remembering some years are 5 years, some are 4, and some are 3, so it really depends. Then I look at, okay, it's 3 years long. I need either a 28, 23, or a 1140. So if I have an 1140, I go, great, I can get into an arts degree at the University of Sydney. So then I go over and I say, okay, I'm going to apply for a Bachelor of Arts. So how you apply for any of these degrees, the first thing you do is you put it into Google, University of Sydney Bachelor of Arts, and you go to the Bachelor of Arts page. So you have to go to the page of the major it is that you're interested in studying in order to start your application. It's really hard to find this on the University of Sydney's website if you try to use the website, so do not use their website. Use Google. You see here, the apply button comes right up. Click on it. You're going to be brought to this page. Another page that is nearly impossible to find on their website, so I don't advise doing that. Everyone should apply for direct entry. Do not apply through UAC. You want to apply directly to the University of Sydney. Okay. No one here is an Australian student, and no one here is completing International Baccalaureate in Australia. So everyone's going to do applying direct. You're going to click on which semester you want to go. They already have 2021 loaded in there if you're looking for our gap year kids. But if you are at NITO now and you want to go for July entrance, they have 2 entrances, one in July, one in March. If you want to go right after graduation, you're going to be semester 2, 2020. Keep in mind, semester 1, 2020 is starting March 2020. None of our 12th grade students want this option. You always want this as your first choice. Now remember, if you want to go in March of 2021 and have a 6-month gap time, that's totally fine. Keep in mind that most majors will allow you to choose if you want to go in July or in March, but some majors have restrictions and you have to go in March. Remember, in the Australian system, just like in Chile, their school starts in March. So if you go in July, you're actually going early. There are advantages to going in July. About 30% of our students will go in July. There's a smaller intake of international kids, so you get a little bit more personalized attention. The downside is you have to go to university basically right away after graduation, so it can be a little jarring. About 70% of our students will actually go for the March of the following year to have a little gap time, and actually you can go to Australia and check out your school before you decide you actually want to go there during your gap time, especially if you're applying to like Melbourne, Sydney, and University of New South Wales, for example. You could actually go to Australia and visit the universities after getting in and decide which one you want to go to before actually attending. So for this example, I'm going to do it 70% of the students say and go for the March 2021. I'm going to click on apply directly. Now these websites take some time to load, especially if you're working on them during school hours, but they do work. It just takes a little bit of time. Now once again, this page is really hard to find, so I highly suggest you bookmark the page. So I'm just going to click on bookmark. Bam, I have bookmarked this page. Okay, it's important to do that. I'm going to create a new applicant. And you see here, your major choice comes up, Bachelor of Arts. So I'm going to put in, give a name, family name. Remember, family name is apellido. And you want to, as much as possible, match your passport. So I'm not going to tell the world what my actual date of birth is, because it doesn't matter. I was born in 2019, but I'm going to say I was born like in 2001, for example. Let's do that. There. Let's see if the change takes. There. It's always important to do these buttons on the side. Don't try to just type stuff in. The computer doesn't like it. It prefers it when you use the buttons. Okay? Email address. Confirm. I'm going to enter my username. I'll create a password. And I'm going to say that I have done that. Okay. There. Now I've successfully logged in. I successfully have an application. I have an applicant ID to the university. You see here, and I'm going to proceed. Good. Starting application. Now before I do anything, I'm going to read this stuff. Always read the things in your application before you proceed. Okay? So after I've read it, I'm going to proceed. Okay, you see here, already my course codes have been put in for me. STAR has been putting in. They only really have one campus unless you do some really other strange majors. So the Campertown Darlington campus is the main campus. Good, so now we're into the application, as you see. And I'm going to start filling stuff out. So your title, Miss, Mr., whichever you want. You see here they have multiple given names, so you can put many names if you want to. Remembering matching your passport. Many students don't have a previous name, so just leave that blank. It's fine. And then the official name, you see here, official name as it appears in your passport. That's in case people have other names that don't appear on their passport. Gender, you can go whatever you want here, however you want to fill it out. I'll choose male. That's how I identify. My date of birth is already filled in. Okay. You can skip this unless you have a previous name. No one that I'm aware of in the 12th grade class has a previous name because they weren't married. So you can skip that. Mailing address, you're going to go ahead and put it in. What your Chilean address is. I'm going to use the address of the school. You should be filling this out as I'm filling it out. Our addresses in Chile are super short. You do have a zip code that is required. So how do you find it? You just go zip code, Lo Barnechea, and it comes right up. Bam, that's your zip code. Cut it, paste it in. Bam, there it is. Okay. And we always put in Santiago. not Comuna, just Santiago. That's our city. Province would be Lo Barnechea because it is required. So once again, this is your address. Your city is always Santiago. This is always going to be your comuna, and this is on the web for every comuna. Please click here if your home address is the same your mailing. So I'm going to do that, and then it automatically fills it in for you. Okay, if your address is the same, click that button. A lot easier. Our telephone number, we're going to provide the school's number. This is also optional if you provide a mobile number. I strongly suggest doing the mobile number, and yeah, putting that in. Okay. The reason is because if Australia does want to call you for any reason, then we want them to call you and your cell phone, not some landline that no one uses anymore. Okay. What country was I born in? I was born in the USA. United States of America, right? What citizen? Now mine is all going to match, but this could be different for all the students. And you see here it says other non-resident. That's going to be most of the kids. Okay. Country or citizenship, nationality, USA. For me, for you it may be different. Are you Aboriginal Territories Islander? I am not. Neither. And I don't believe anyone else in this school is, at least in 12th grade. Select language I speak at home. I'm going to put English. It's fine if you put Spanish or other things. It won't affect your application. Okay. Proof of your residency status. This is where you're going to upload your passport. Okay. That's what they need here. Upload your passport. A picture of it is fine. Scanned is fine. Just make sure that it's legible. Okay, so you're going to upload your passport here. Proof of application permanent residency, not relevant. I'm not aware of anybody in the senior class that has this, so this should be left blank. Are you applying through University Sydney authorized agent? I'm not an agent, so you're always no. Are you currently an applicant at the University of Sydney? No. Are you currently a University of Sydney student? No. So these are all the same answers for all of you. Ever been enrolled? No. Save and continue. Have you been awarded a scholarship? No. Have you applied for a scholarship? No. Everyone's going to put no for those. Remember, University of Sydney has scholarships that are available for only people who have 45 on the IB. So you're not going to Sydney if you want a scholarship. Evidence of scholarship, everyone's going to leave this blank. Save and continue. Here we go. International applicant language proficiency. So this is interesting right here. I'm going to go ahead and say my first language is not English because some of you may have that. Have you taken an English language proficiency test in the last 2 years? I'm going to also say no because most people, that's what you'd say. If you have yes, then you're going to put in your TOEFL thing here. But if you have no, this one other comes up. Have you scheduled to sit an English language test? So let's just say you have not. However, here we are, completed secondary studies that were taught in English within the last 5 years. That's a yes. Most students are going to have it look like this. No, 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 yes, if your first language is not English. If your first language is English, it's pretty easy and straightforward. But remember, most kids who go to NITO will get out of needing an English proficiency exam in Australia if they have been at NITO for 3 years in a row. If you've been to another school where English was not the primary language of instruction within the last 3 years, let me or Miss Heather know and we will help you with your application. You may be able to get out of the English language requirement if you're taking IB English. So what's my level? Secondary qualification. Everyone's secondary. What country? We're in Chile, so I'm going to put Chile. Date of completion. We're going to put a future date. June 2020. And we'll put in the day of graduation. 10th, I believe. Okay. Okay, so uploading your documents. Now here we have any English language stuff. So if you have a TOEFL you want to put up there, you can put it there. If you have an IELTS, you can put it there. If you don't have anything and we did this, you're going to leave this blank. Okay. However, if you have an IB predicted grade, you're a full IB diploma student, you can put your IB predicted grades here, because that will prove that you have taken English. Okay. If you're not a full IBDP student, you're going to leave this blank. If you answered yes to any of the following questions, you'll have to upload supporting documents. Okay, so not that I'm aware of, everyone in the senior class is a no, no, no for this one. You're going to do a no, no, no. Okay. Documentation regarding all of this, you should skip. Highest level of details. So this is highest level qualification completed. So we're going to look at none of the above because no one has completed. You see, what is your highest level of education successfully completed prior to this application? Right now, everyone in our school is none of the above. You have not completed anything. Okay. Secondary school studies. Please provide the secondary education. Here we go. Name of secondary education. This is name of secondary school qualification. So, if you're an IB kid, you're just going to put the IB. Right? International B. Okay? If you're a USA High School Diploma kid, you're going to put USA High School Diploma. This is for all our partial students. And you're going to put with SAT, or in the case with ACT, and then you're going to put your qualifying score. So if it was 1140 for the SAT, that's what I said I had, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay? State or country, going to be in Chile. Completion year, 2020, right? That's for IB or SAT, doesn't matter. ATAR score or equivalency rank. This is your SAT score, again. Or your IB predicted grade. Okay? Whichever one you're going with. In this case, I'm an SAT kid, so I'm going to do 1140. Okay? Next, academic qualifications. Please provide details of any tertiary studies. So tertiary is a word for university. So everyone in the senior class is going to skip this section. No one has tertiary studies, so you're going to skip it. Good. Now, here is the real important bit about applying to Sydney. So, an official transcript of your academic records for each course attempted. This is your transcript. So this is your grades 9 through 12. You're going to upload that here. Okay? Tertiary studies, skip. Official English translation, skip. Written evidence, skip. This one down here, this is where you're going to upload either your predicted grades certificate if you're an IB student, or if you're an SAT student, you're going to upload a screenshot of your SAT score or ACT score with your qualifying score here. So once again, this is your transcript, your high school transcript, grades 9 through 12, semester grades. This is going to be your IB predicted grades or a screenshot of your ACT or SAT scores. Do not send scores that don't qualify you for the course. Remember, in Australia, you can apply before you even take the SAT or the IB for that matter. So if you're leaving all this blank because you have a future test date, that's fine. You just say, with SAT, no score, and nothing down here. This is if you didn't take the SAT yet, or you already took it, but you don't want to tell them your score because you're going to retake it to get a better score. Okay? If you haven't yet taken the SAT and you're registered to take it, you can put a copy of your registration here. If you're not registered to take it, you can leave it blank. There we go. Information about academic awards, people can just leave this blank, it doesn't matter. Would you like to submit an application for credit? Everyone's going to put no. Save, continue. There we go. That's it. That's how you apply to the University of Sydney. No essay, no letters of recommendation. You agree to the following, and then you're going to click submit. It'll bring up a payment section where you have to pay. And that's it. That's how you apply to the University of Sydney. Now you're done applying because you've been doing it with me. Let us know if you have any questions, but follow along, do the webinar, and you apply to Sydney.